confirmed with EPA, so they love that. You take a weekend course, 8 hours, and it's $150 to $300 on average for that course. And you start the class in the morning, have coffee in the middle of the day. By the end of the day, they hand you a certificate. That's how simple.
After test.
Yeah, there's no test, but they give you the answers throughout the whole day. So they give you the answers the whole day, and then you take a test at the end of the day on the test you just took all day. And you have your EPA renovator's license. And you basically know how to wear the white suit, how to put on plastic gloves, with a simple mask, collect all the chips, everything associated with anything related to lead paint. Inside a building, my God, I have to put a plastic wall, there's all the thing. Outside, it's like, okay, put a plastic down 20 feet, collect the chips, close it up. So much easier at the outside. But inside, my God, it becomes, it's a real training exercise. You're going to be licensed in both. We talk about all the classes that we teach at the academies, and in most cases, when we get brought in by an association, you get continuing ed credits. If we go there directly, there's no credits here because you have to go through every state in order to you have to pass this rigorous thing where I'm going to give you credits, but then I'm be charging you to come in the door and all kinds of things. But we perform these classes. We'll talk about what fire escape engineers and what we can do, and that we're the only fire escape company in the nation. We're like shoe cobbling, you know what I'm saying? So that's our second activity that we're going to be starting is when we're not doing fire escapes, we're going to fix shoes because there's nobody else doing that either. So, but only $1,000 to $3,000 shoes we'll fix. And we'll talk about what licenses are out there, including the Reg 4, okay? And if you look on the very back, this happened in Boston. This is what changed our code out there, and it's usually a tragedy that happens to a fireman or a tenant, and this happened to the tenant just when she thought it was safe. And we have a statement that says fire escapes can either save lives or take them. He was able to save himself by grabbing the ladder. She and her niece fell away. The woman died, and the niece fell on her, and that happened over 40 years ago. So, if you look at the front cover, this is a fireman's worst nightmare because it doesn't have a tag on it. Because the firemen in the back of their mind, they see this happening to them on every fire escape they're ever going to get on. Because for 75 years, nobody's ever done anything about it. So, with that being the case, now I'll just be going along and talking about the slideshow.
Right now, firefighters are taking down the ladders and rolling up the hoses. But earlier in the night, when they pulled up, there were flames coming out of the side of the building. Firefighters say it was one of the scarier moments because when you pull up to a building and you see children and mothers hanging off the side of the fire escape, smoke swirling around them, they said that's scary, scary stuff. They got up there, they got the ladders up, and they said nobody got hurt.
The fire escape, there was 3 or 4 people hanging off the fire escape. They couldn't get off. They were just on the fire escapes. I had people hanging in the fire escapes at the rear of the building, and on this side of the building, we had a bunch of people on that fire escape.
About 50 people were displaced inside this building. However, firefighters say there's good news tonight. It looks like everybody will be allowed to go back in except the one unit where the fire was in. They said that's good luck to them tonight. I'm Bob Wilson on the scene of Bridgeport, News 8.
The smoke, the flames, and the frightened faces, all in a firefighter's line of duty. But Chief William Hitchcock remembers the night it wasn't the fire that almost stopped him.
Oh, I was scared to death.
But the fire escape that broke underneath him.
Where the railing just came away from the building.
And our investigation found across Massachusetts more unsafe fire escapes. Rusty, deteriorating, crumbling, broken. And what state officials didn't know, the system they set up to keep fire escapes safe is also falling apart.
The potential ramifications are disastrous.
So let's look at this one. This expert ironworker is licensed to build, maintain, and inspect fire escapes. So then over here? For months, we examined dozens of them with alarming results.
Looking at this today, would this pass inspection?
No.
In dormitories, at theaters, at homes, and apartment buildings.
Rust is actually eating away the metal of the fire escape.
Correct.
And the bottom line?
It'll get weak and then eventually it'll fall.
This one has rotted connections. This one missing bolts, twisted metal.
Would the stairs come down?
No, never come down.
This one a broken tread.
So how dangerous is it for the people inside this building?
This fire escape is definitely going to put somebody either in the hospital or it's going to put somebody at in a cemetery.
Fire escapes are so critical. The state building code requires they be certified for structural adequacy and safety every 5 years. But our investigation found that safeguard is simply being ignored. Here's proof. We chose fire escapes at random in Boston, Somerville, Cambridge, Worcester, and here in Quincy. We checked building department files,
But there's no fire escape certification.
Not in this file.
to see if building owners had submitted their mandatory inspection reports.
There's no certification in this one either.
Right.
Bottom line, not one we checked in Quincy had been certified as safe. And the director of inspectional services admitted because of staffing shortages, the city has no idea how many other fire escape owners are breaking the rules.
And as a result, do you know how many fire escapes in your city are safe or not?
Well, I don't know.
In Worcester, not one we checked was certified. In Somerville,
No.
4 more fire escapes,
Did it fall through the cracks? Yeah.
not one up-to-date certification. And again, no system for keeping track.
How can they get away with that?
I guess the shortest answer of all is because we don't have the resources to sit here and follow up on these things.
If structural deficiencies are reported, local building inspectors can actually evacuate residents until repairs are made.
Would you talk to us on camera about this? No?
But when we surveyed 24 more communities, most admitted they had no idea how many fire escapes were certified. In Taunton, inspectors told us they haven't seen a certification in 25 years. Northampton officials said it's a cold day in hell when that happens. In Cambridge, too, not one of our test buildings was certified, and the official in charge would not come out to discuss it. In Boston, where there are more than 8,000 fire escapes, again, according to inspectional services, not one we checked was certified. Officials know they are required to enforce the building code, but they admit they don't always know if owners are breaking the law.
The building code is being ignored.
Right, but it's difficult to write a violation when you don't have knowledge of something like that.
But state officials say for a critical issue like this, communities should know. And they warn the Massachusetts building code is not optional.
Does it worry you that these fire escapes are not being certified?
This is an important issue and should not be ignored.
That's because after the smoke and flames begin, it'll be too late to learn you've got no way out.
I can't stress it enough, Hank, that these things have to be maintained and someone's got to be watching.
As a result of our investigation, state officials will now issue an alert to local inspectors. Meanwhile, if there's a fire escape on your home or office, you can contact your local building department to make sure it's properly certified. In the newsroom, I'm Hank Philippi Ryan.